Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
And I'm Carter Glasscock.
Hey now, Carter's back, and
I am.
Speaking of being back, we got our friend on mic 3.
Seth Pomeroy, what the fuck is happening?
Yes, sir. And joining us on mic 4, our very special guest making his return. So happy to see him, as always.
Edgar Destroy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We fucking nailed that, guys.
Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
the fuck
We
is
can
up?
we can put the mics down right now.
Boom. Hell yeah. Killed that intro. Ready to go. Carter's going to a gala.
Yeah. I'm going to it's a charity event, and me and my team, we all kind of like we were like looking at events to kind of go around and spread the good word of I don't know what the fuck, but I'm going to go to a charity event tonight.
Yeah.
Because I got dragged into it.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Well,
free food.
Free food, bingo. I was gonna say, I was back home for 3 weeks, and my mom, very involved with the arts community there, was like, "Hey, there's like an art show. If you want to go, there's free food." And I was like, "All right, that's all you have to say." And then we get there, and the food is just incredible. And then a couple of my buddies give me a call, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, y'all come get some of this food, and I just unleashed my friends on this art show. So that's
what I was going to do.
I was about to say,
if we all want to roll 5 deep to this charity event,
fucking A.
we're probably going to have some mini sandwiches and shit.
Well, I'll put on tuxedos. And
This was pitched to me as if it was the most normal thing to do. It's like, oh, save some time on Tuesday because we're going to that charity event, that gala ball. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. I'll tell Wilfred to prepare the limousine to get us to the fucking.
You were telling us earlier you don't even know what the charity is about. Like,
Yeah.
No.
you could be being invited to like, oh, we're gonna eat the last Komodo dragon.
Like they serve steamed Komodo dragon at this NAMBLA
This is going
event.
to be Squid Game. This is going to be Squid Game. And you're just at the table. What? It's a black suit. I didn't know it.
I'm not gonna tell anyone that I do comedy there. I'm not gonna do
Oh,
it.
please
I'm
don't.
gonna be like, I work at a wine bar. I'm not saying comedy. I don't want to hear the do one. I don't want to hear where do you go. I don't want to hear any of it. I'm not gonna tell anyone.
see, I would do the opposite. I would demand
You
to get
would?
on stage.
I would
Really?
tell them everything. I would tell them everything. My mom's dead. I'm from Nashville. I'm a filmmaker.
Open
I
with
just
your mom's
moved
dead,
here. My girlfriend
Dude.
and I have been together for almost 4 years.
I envision it as like, because first of all, your shirt, you have to iron your shirt, you have to steam your shirt. Your shirt looked like a crumpled piece of paper.
It did look like a crumpled
Dude,
dollar
I
bill.
found it, and it smells like socks. I found it crumpled in the back of my fucking.
And-
There was a fucking weed bowl on top of it.
A weed bowl?
A weed bowl for anyone who's ever
It's like a cop.
who's ever indulged. There's a damn weed wand.
There is an item of paraphernalia.
There was a weed
Yeah, there's
bowl.
paraphernalia on top of it, plus some crusty ass socks. And I don't know if the
Yes.
comptroller of LA is going to be offended by my smell, but
The best thing was he finished steaming it, and I was like, "Oh, it actually looks really nice." Never used a steamer before. I was like, "Wow, that was quick." And then I turned it around, the back of it was just completely fucked.
Oh, it also-
was like,
Yeah.
it also leaves piss dribbles all over your shirt.
yeah, oh hell yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's the mullet of shirts. Business in the front, fucking party at the back.
Party in the back.
Not even party. It's sleeping in the gutter on the back.
I imagine that when the band or ever is playing "Can't Stop" by Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm gonna throw my jacket off and start dancing around
Oh,
and
right.
shit.
Dude, it's gala in the front, gutter in the back.
There it is. There we go.
It's like my rat tail's touching my ass crack.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I just imagine like you go there, like you said you don't know what it's for. And I just imagine them being like, okay, we're here to stop the elimination of a species. All right, there's a species that's about to go extinct. Come on out here, bring them on out here, and it's like a white Anglo-Saxon family.
Yeah. There we go.
We got to preserve these people. You're just like, oh no, like you're trying to hide your face.
Yeah, no pictures.
All
No
the
pictures.
racist photos. You're just dabbing. Trying to hide your face.
Also, there's this environment that has been allowed to absolutely become depleted, and we need to fix it. It's Jeffrey Epstein's island. We need new
I was
turf.
gonna say.
It's how you get on those lists.
What if this is one of those things
on a
where
table.
I mean, maybe it's an eyes wide shut, everyone's fucking each other kind of thing going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I was promised like mini egg rolls.
Yeah, well, you'll have you'll be there with your Dusty Rhodes shirt. I'm dying with kings and queens. I've slept in the alley. Eating
I'm
pork
bringing
and
the
beans.
steamer with me. I'm gonna ask Bill Caruso, who's gonna be there. I'm like, you need a steam?
Oh wait, I think I voted against him.
Yeah, he's a shithead. I think he hates homeless people. Is his platform?
Cool.
Yeah, Rick Caruso. That's
Rick Caruso.
Dude, I mean, they said something like he's got a plan to like build these homeless shelters. I'm like, they're like those death houses. You know, that dude that like in Victorian England used to build
Abattoirs.
You just get trapped in this death house this guy had, and like all like you try to walk down a hallway and all of a sudden it turns into a dead end and then the walls smash you like Indiana Jones and shit. Like that's Rick Caruso's plan for the homeless.
That's his solution to shelters. The problem with homeless shelters is that you can't stay there. You have to check in every single day, and you can't check in past a certain time. His solution to that is make a place where you can never leave.
Yeah.
So that'll solve it.
I can't wait to bum this guy a cigarette later.
Yeah, you guys are really going to get along, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Be like, do you see the Northman? I saw the Northman. I have nothing to bring to the table.
That's a good question. Did they see the Northman? That's a really great question. I'm trying to think. Is that a high society film, or is it just artsy people and Nazis? Apparently,
it's interesting you say the Northman because I had an original Picasso that I set on fire this morning. I cooked my breakfast with it. Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow! Did you see that thing with the Northman where there were the neo-Nazi guys who went there to eat raw meat and watch the movie?
Whoa.
Oh boy, really?
Because it's about Vikings, so it's like, European.
Cosplay, baby.
Yeah, and literally they went there and ate like ground beef and like rented out a whole theater and were like Sieg Heiling and shit.
Jesus.
And I was like, you fucking nerds.
Yeah.
And furthermore, as a history guy, it's extra offensive because I'm like, yeah, you know what they don't have a lot of in ice ravaged Greenland? Fucking cows.
That's right.
They ate fish, you stupid dipshits.
This is like the Renaissance fair to them. They just wandered in.
Yeah. Fuck you. Come on,
legs and fucking-
dude. Either you're about it or you're fucking not. You eat disgusting fermented pickled shark, or you fuck right off if you want to be a Viking.
Dude, I can't wait for him to find out that like Viking was like the military almost, like a military but more ritualistic. So they could have people that didn't look like Vikings. I'm not trying to be like, hey, there was 15 Flavor Flav looking Vikings. Talk about, hey, this is how you thatch your huts. I'm not saying that, but I am saying there were a bunch of different types of people from all over the world that were Vikings. Just like if you went back to ancient Rome and took a snapshot, you see a Negro walking down the street like, hey, what's up? My name's Cicero Jr. Whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like he's just living. He's not anybody's slave or anything. He's just living in Rome like anybody else. And like Vikings weren't just all like the best and the brightest of the Aryan race. It was like a bunch of military assholes. So of course everybody could join that, and they used them to conquer shit.
Yeah,
Were they pretty inbred too? A lot of the Vikings, or am I thinking?
You're thinking of just the country of Iceland. No, because to Ed's point, the Vikings went absolutely everywhere. I mean, they fucked with like the Mediterranean. I mean, they were like, they went everywhere. And when a giant army of crazy people runs into town, there's going to be a certain quotient of the populace that's like, can I go with you guys? This seems awesome, But yeah, no, that movie was very good. I'm sad that it became a white power movie because boy, it was fucking great.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, we can't have nice things.
You fucking can't have nice things. Yeah,
can't have a nice super white. Like they're gonna do that. They were doing that with fucking Oppenheimer and stuff too. And I'm like, look, I'm not one of these black dudes just like, oh fuck, man. There's got to be I hate it when black people are in stuff because that's not realistic.
Yeah,
I hate those guys because they're like a response to all the so-called woketeers. But straight up. Who the fuck was black around Oppenheimer? You can't give that.
Ed, I'll tell you, the black guy from the Eternals. That's him. If you're invents the Eternals made atomic bombs. The fault of the one black guy.
I hated that.
I did not see the Eternals for this very reason.
Oh boy,
the fuck nuclear war is the whitest thing ever.
Yes,
and to put it on a black man, this is
and a gay black man too. On top of that, you're like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, our black queens love to make nuclear weapons. There's no way. But yeah, people talk about the Oppenheimer movie so white. It's like, okay, what you gonna race bend Albert Einstein? Motherfucker, like Marlon Wayans as Albert Einstein. What are you gonna do to make that movie more black? Like, have more scenes with trains so we can get porters in the background.
Like, right.
What the fuck are you gonna do? and the Hidden Figures ladies hadn't got there yet.
Right?
So
Yeah,
you can't even.
that's 20 years later.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
Fuck, man. Like, I'm just saying, some movies just let them be white. Because I don't want no more white people in the Black Panther 2. Like a fucking Starbucks in Wakanda and everybody's getting $10 lattes and they're heading to their architectural job. Fuck that. I don't need that shit either.
Yeah, what was his name? Fucking the Hobbit man who's the villain.
Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
No, not Martin Freeman. He plays fuck
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
Okay, yeah.
Andy Serkis is the bad guy in the first Black Panther.
And
or one of.
And the fun thing about Black Panther is the good guy works for the CIA. So isn't that that's fun?
What message are they really sending?
You know, who's a real friend of Black revolutionaries? The CIA.
That's right.
Fucking COINTELPRO Wakanda.
Yeah, that should be the dude. Martin Freeman needs to be the villain of the next movie because that is the movie. He's
It's like, I caught you putting a wiretap under my You're not going to do me like Martin Luther King, and he claws his face off. Black Panther just kills Martin Freeman.
yeah. Then I'll be on board. So I wanted to shout out our friend Mr. Fonts, listening there in the Carolinas, and he reached out to me and was wanting us to try out a legendary concoction, ungodly concoction rather, of the great Northeast. And I believe he's actually from this area of the country, and of course I am talking about Moxie.
Jesus.
Do you guys know about Moxie?
I don't.
The original elixir.
Original elixir. So
It looks like it's flavored like soda, and yet it's not.
so
It's like if you put lean in a bottle.
well, so I told Mr. Fonts, I was like, once upon a time, you could find Moxie in LA at Bevmo specifically, which for those listening that don't know,
Some of
Bevmo
the
is
history of once upon a time, everyone had Moxie.
Oh.
Robert Evans, Zsa Kapoor, everyone had Moxie.
Robert Blake, everybody.
Everyone had that it factor, a certain chutzpah, if you will.
well, so funny you mentioned that word Moxie actually comes after this soda.
What?
Yeah, this soda
How old is this particular soda?
1876.
Wow.
And so this is the oldest bottled soda in America. And it's called Moxie, and used to be able to find it around most Bevmos. I hadn't seen it for a while, but I told Mr. Fonts on Twitter, I was like, I'll find it. And then it began like a 3-week quest. And I finally, shout out to the Bevmo in Reseda. That's where I found it. So
Bevmo.
had to go Deep Valley.
Bevmo represent. I went there. They had 3 different kinds of the pretzels I like. This is the fucking best place of all time.
Is
Bevmo.
that Dots?
Quins, baby, Quins. I'm going to promote
Quins.
it right here. Grain free, and it tastes good. It's a little hard, hurt your
Grain-free?
teeth, but you like that. I like it.
Wait, grain-free what's in it?
I don't fuck if I know. Maybe it's delicious. They got
Okay.
chocolate in one. They got maple, some shit in the other. Peanut butter. I got 3 bags.
Sold exclusively at Bevmo.
Yeah. And I filled my bathtub up with it. And I'm like, I left Nashville. I'm in the big city now.
I'm going to stop by Bevmo to pick up some pretzels and some issues of good housekeeping and other shit that's not alcohol.
Not kidding. This is so pathetic. I looked for these pretzels in Nashville because they had them for a long time at Kroger, and they stopped carrying them. And I was like, I guess it's probably the last time I'll ever have Quins.
Damn.
And I came to LA, and there's like 5 different flavors.
Hell yeah.
Half the country's missing out. That's all I'm saying. Grain-free pretzels. They're hard. They fuck your teeth up. You
Seth,
like 'em.
I'm coming to your house to eat pretzels.
Yeah,
We're ending this podcast now so I can eat pretzels.
Regional foods are tyranny.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah, why do you play
Quins.
these games with me?
Yeah, please be here.
Give us all of them.
so full confession, I have tried Moxie before. I believe I've actually talked about it on this show before, and it's interesting. I'm very interested to hear y'all's take. So this will not be a first time for me, but it will be, I believe, a first time for everybody
When
assembled.
you say interesting,
Well, the tagline is like, what does it say? It's
oh yeah, read it.
distinctively different.
Yeah, which means
Not
you might
great.
fucking hate this.
yeah.
Could taste like piss.
Yeah.
You'll find out.
So like I mentioned, this is the oldest mass-produced bottled soda in America. 1876, a guy named Augustine Thompson. This was originally called Moxie Nerve Food.
Hell yeah.
And it was produced in Lowell, Massachusetts. This doctor claimed that Moxie...
Nothing appetizing about this. It's nerve food. It's distinctively different. Just try it. Why are you so hesitant? Just try it. Come on.
Why won't you drink it?
Just drink it.
Thompson claimed Moxie was especially effective against, and this is the actual list, softening of the brain, So we do need this.
So our brains are going to be smooth like a baby's ass after this.
It strengthens the nervous system, and it cures insomnia and also paralysis. So
Cures it.
it supposedly can undo.
I'm gonna go to this thing
paralysis.
later, and they're gonna be talking about like about how I invented like a laser jetpack, but it requires that you not wear pants, and they're gonna be like, "This guy's got Moxie."
Later ads described it as a drink for athletes. Also described it as very healthful, and it strengthens and invigorates. So it's got this. It's got a mysterious root in it called gentian root. This was Calvin Coolidge's favorite drink. So
He did have Moxie.
listen, that's what they say about Silent Cal.
About Calvin
Yeah,
Coolidge.
yeah,
Boy had Moxie.
yeah. My friend bet I couldn't get you to say 3 words. Moxie, motherfucker. And that's it. So, also big thing, and then we'll crack this baby open. The spokesperson for Moxie in the middle of the century there. Red Sox hitter Ted fucking Williams, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Ted Williams was their spokesperson back in the day. And yeah, so anyway. Oh, other thing, they had a unique advertising tool called the Moxie Horsemobile.
Yeah.
Which was, and I'm not kidding, they had 2 dozen of
It's just like
these.
it's a car that tells you that this will make your cock humongous.
That's the Hogmobile, man.
It's the hog cart.
Yeah, yeah.
There's the hog cart, the horsemobile,
So you can find
the
a
big
picture.
dick jet.
So you can find a picture of this, and I'll put it on our Twitter so people can see it. The Horsemobile is literally like, just imagine like a mid 1920s car with no roof, obviously, and they've taken out all the seats, and a horse stands in the middle of the car, and then a guy gets on the horse and like steers the car with extremely long pedals that come up to the stirrups of the horse. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
It's powered by Moxie.
And yeah, it's powered by Moxie.
Guy
So-
doesn't have a lick of sense. But
No.
he's got Moxie.
but he's got Moxie. But yeah, like I said, that
He's got a horse cock.
that phrase,
That
this
We respect him.
this soda predates that phrase. So the phrase "he's got Moxie," that comes from this. So
Amazing.
yeah, so let's.
I feel like Calvin Coolidge.
It used to mean if your eyebrows had fallen off your face, that guy's got Moxie.
That guy's got Moxie.
Just seeing a kid like a kid windmill dunk at an empty park and just like, yeah, I feel like Calvin Coolidge.
I feel like Calvin Coolidge.
all right, this is everyone's favorite part of the show. Please hold. Oh, there we go.
That's a bottle for those at home.
That's right.
Normally it comes out of a disgusting can, but this
Yeah,
time
yeah.
it comes out of a disgusting bottle.
I got just drank a whole cup of coffee. We're about to drink this bullshit.
Hey, you're
I'm gonna
gonna-
shit my pants
Oh, you're an athlete.
live.
It's for
You're
athletics.
Calvin Coolidge. God damn it! I can do anything.
Here's everyone's second favorite part of the show. Ooh, all right, real Moxie.
It's got a nice glug.
Glug glug.
Yeah, it's a
sizzle.
very nice cherble.
I know that word. That's funny.
Just kidding. Moxie brings it out of me. Oh, thank you.
All right, cheers, gentlemen.
Are you going to swish it around and get a sense of it first, or you're going to?
we gotta.
Yeah, let's get the brio.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Get some air into it.
buddy.
Oh, shit.
buddy.
like shitty
This
RC.
is
This
this is
is-
medicine.
medicine.
This is lean RC.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, now I remember. I've only had this
Oh, yeah, it
once.
tastes like fucking cough syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Calvin Coolidge is all loaded up on cough syrup. That's why I couldn't talk.
He's seeing demons and shit. Yeah.
The visuals are
But
Terrified.
he was never paralyzed, not once.
That's right. Yeah, FDR.
And he had the hardest brain in Washington.
the hardest,
Dude.
smoothest brain.
His brain was
Sipping
rock
on
hard.
lean, kicking raps. Calvin C. Coolidge.
Yeah.
You could pop a quarter off his brain.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, this is what made the 20s roar.
God, it smells like cough syrup too.
Yeah, this is
like. I mean, it's very.
It really did.
Time
Yeah.
to tap.
Dude, you slammed that. I've been sipping this motherfucker like sarsaparilla.
Yeah, me too. I'm not. Carter's out of his fucking mind. I'm not swallowing.
But he just wanted it to be over.
Yeah. Any drink that's like gross, I'm just like, well, if I slam it, it'll be in me.
yeah, yeah.
Roiling around.
Breaking down my cell structure.
It tastes like when I used to work in a movie theater, they had like the frosty fruit machine, Sometimes you'd be like, drink the syrup. Just drink the syrup and see what it tastes like. It tastes just fucking like Moxie. Just fucking disease and.
Well, you know what this tastes like? Oh, okay. I know what this tastes like. This tastes like root beer barrels.
Oh, the candy. The candy.
They don't really taste like root beer. They taste like this.
You're right. This is actually
if you
good
melted
now.
that shit down and put it in a bottle,
Yeah.
that would be this.
Oh man, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, because I was trying to put my finger on it because it doesn't taste like root beer, but yes, that's
Tastes like
perfect.
the candy root beer.
But now I love it. now that I have some
Now that I can put my finger on it,
it's like certain punk bands. I don't get it. You explain to me. They're like, no, this is before the Clash. I'm like, oh, I get it.
just wrinkles being smoothed in Seth's brain right now.
My hair's growing back.
Yeah.
Your sense of taste just going away.
It's steaming out the wrinkles in your brain, much like Carter's shirt with the steamer. Yeah.
Hey, you should have dumped Moxie all over your shirt. That's what Calvin Coolidge used to do.
You know this shit would dry looking like blood.
Oh yeah, like it turns green for some reason when it dries. Like our shit is going to be bright green.
It's like, I'm not going to finish it, I don't think, but it is delicious. Thank you, Rivers.
Yeah, thank you.
You're not gonna finish
It's
it.
like
you.
I don't
melted
think
down
so, 'cause-
candy.
He just took it down too. Me and Rivers just took it like a
I
shot.
got to.
Yeah.
I'm sipping on the scissor.
It's still going strong over there. I admire that.
This is 3 Mafia.
It's got
We're not
Moxie.
having that shit.
Sipping on that scissor.
My teeth are vibrating.
Yeah, this is by the way, shout out to the Cornucopia Beverage Company in Bedford, New Hampshire. That's who makes this. So I think that's
Old money, baby. Old money.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
That's right.
Oh, and it's got. Now I'm getting that top of the mouth aftertaste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
gumminess.
It hangs at the top of your mouth like Batman over some criminals. Just waiting to pounce.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Moxie.
Yeah.
Moxie.
Your tongue's like, where are you? And then your top of your mouth's like, here. And then you vomit.
That's a free act I paid for Moxie.
This is
The Moxie begins.
Yeah, the Moxie begins.
it begins. They've strapped Calvin Coolidge to a spotlight. A Moxie signal.
You have like nightmares where it's like a weird baby with Calvin Coolidge's head.
Yeah. This will teach you to unregulate the banks.
It's like that part in Train Spotting, but it's Calvin Coolidge's head.
God damn.
What's the first time we've just done it up front?
Oh yeah,
Usually
yeah.
do the cocaine in the middle of the show.
No,
Yeah.
no, I had to.
We're just like, we're friends here. Let's chop it up in his
Chop
room.
it up and get to talking.
Yeah, we don't have to go take turns in the bathroom. Let's just do it here.
Let's just do it in front of your mother. She's sleeping. It's okay. We're friends.
Just take Moxie in front of your mom.
Take Moxie in front of your sleeping mother.
Dude, my
She
mom's
doesn't know
out.
shit.
She's out.
She
So
don't
like
know
we can snort Moxie until the sun rises. Oh god,
Jesus.
sweating. I'm sweating from the Moxie.
Oh man.
Kid, you got Moxie.
It's all over your lips. It
It's all you got. It
smells like fucking root beer.
Your mouth smells like a pharmacy. You got Moxie. Now get in the hot tub.
Oh, you've been melting root beer barrels again.
I'm gonna make you a star.
Hey, what's in this drink? It says here spunk,
Alien jism.
A plum. Yeah.
determination, sand, pizzazz,
Yeah.
and sand.
Sand. Razzmatazz.
God, it's in my body. It's in my body.
I am now very obsessed with the idea of a superhero who is named Moxie. Like, and when he announces it, he comes out looking badass and scary, and he's like, "I am Moxie," and then everyone just laughs at him, and he's kicking their ass, and they're still laughing at him.
Well, I think that's what would really happen to Captain America. Like if you come from this old ass time,
Right.
nobody's just gonna accept your gimmick because those old gimmicks suck. So yeah, he would just be like, "Hey guys, you want a knuckle sandwich?" It's like, "Get the fuck out of here! Who the fuck is this guy? Whose granddad is this guy?" As they shoot him in the knees.
To give you a rap on the Gulliver, Buster. It's like, yeah, someone kill this dude real quick.
A rap. Someone was rapping on my chamber door.
I'm about to ring your bell, buddy.
One of my favorite things ever is like if if someone's just getting their ass kicked and they're laughing, that's never not hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing you only see in kids for the most part. But boy, when like the big brother is just trying to beat the shit out of the little brother and he won't stop laughing at him.
Where did you see this?
Just as a child,
As a child?
Yeah,
I think you mean crying.
No.
It looks a lot like laughing.
No.
Not the same thing.
All I'm saying is I want to see the adult version of that when Moxie announces himself and he's like, "No, seriously, what is your name?" And he just won't stop hitting him.
What? I mean, I saw something. I wish you could like intersplice this instantly, but I'll try to do it justice. It was like one of those viral clips of fights, and basically this guy was at a truck bed, and I guess he was trying to sell this other guy on some stuff, or he'd done something before the video started. So this guy with full regalia, like full trucker regalia, he's got a CB radio thing with the fucking, with the mic that comes around to your mouth like you're working at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
He's got the Chick-fil-A headset on.
We call that the Garth Brooks mic.
Yes, Garth Brooks mic. So he's got full Garth Brooks mic, hat, and I think some other kind of apparatus around his head, like some weird hillbilly headgear. And so he comes around the truck and he's talking to this old, like gimped up man. The dude can barely move, and they're talking. I guess something went wrong, and the guy with all the hillbilly headgear starts whopping the other guy, just start overhand kind of black girl windmill swing, trying to hit him, and he hits him like 4 or 5 times in the face and the head, and this kind of gimped up old man just sort of takes his like Elvis glasses off, throws him in the bed of his truck, and just throws this left haymaker that like takes the guy off his feet, and all the hillbilly headgear just breaks apart. The Chick-fil-A thing breaks apart. His Oakley sunglasses break apart and fly, and whatever his chain goes up, whatever the fuck, and he was just on the ground fucked up after he'd hit this guy like 5 times. And somebody put the Sonic rings sound effect over it.
So all that shit fell off his head like it was like in Transformers or something.
Yep.
Just like fucking, oh man,
dude. And it's just like, but that, like, just to your point, Rivers, that's what it kind of looks like as an adult. Like when somebody hits you 3 or 4 good times, and nothing happens, and then that person hits the back, it's always here comes Big Bro, the wrath of Big Bro.
He knows something you don't.
Yes.
about his limits.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with people who be eating punches, dude. That shit's crazy.
I will run. If I'm watching that, I will run away.
Yeah.
That guy's going to fucking kill everybody.
Dude, I'm going to do my world star from like 4 blocks away. Use the ultra zoom on my new iPhone.
Moxie, oh Moxie, before you. I don't know what I could do without you. As a drink, you're a hummer in winter or summer. There's something so pleasant about you. Oh, you stand the test, for you are the best. I'll send all the rest down the line. Let others keep trying, you're so satisfying. There's nothing like Moxie for mine.
So we've got this segment called Top 3, where we reached out to the listeners of the Goods from the Woods Studiverse and asked them to give us some top 3s to ponder. First up today, I wanted to shout out Scoundrel. They sent us this one, and I put a little caveat on this one because the original one was top 3 haunted places in the South. But for comedy purposes, I'm just extending that to just sketchiest fucking places you've ever been to, and that could be supernatural or otherwise. So I wanted to bring up Andersonville Prison in Georgia, which was a Confederate prisoner of war camp in Andersonville, and it was literally, there was no buildings. It was a stockade. It was a giant fence, and it had a creek running through it, and that was your water and your toilets. And it was so fucked up that this was one of the very few people that was actually hung for war crimes on the Confederate side was the guy who administered this prison. So it's fucked up when they actually did what they should have done to all of them.
Sure.
So it got liberated in May of 1865, and the guy they hung, by the way, wasn't even American. He was like Swiss. His name was Henry Wirtz, so they had no compunction about hanging him. Jefferson Davis, no, we'll let him slide. But this Swiss piece of shit, he's got to go. It's very close to Plains, Georgia as well. So you got the fun side of that town, Jimmy Carter, and then the not so fun side of that town, Andersonville Prison, which is Does anybody ever go to Andersonville? We had to go on a field trip there.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
It's fucking
All
crazy.
prisons are haunted to me.
Yeah.
There's not like an aura of like something nice happened here.
No.
It's like fucking
No.
I think that's the issue for me with the top 3 thing too. Is like I would never go to a scary or haunted place.
No.
So I was always fucking left. So I have 0 stories of like.
Yeah, I'm scrambling for some. I got like 2.
I will. Can I drop one thing? Real
Yeah,
fast?
yeah.
Tennessee Wraith Chasers. I want everyone just to.
Whoa. What is
These are these giant fucking losers.
Liars.
You have a
Yeah, these
show
are liars. These
on the
a group of
Travel
liars.
Channel. And when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee, this is the kind of crap that comes your way that seems professional. And they're like, you could write for the Tennessee Wraith Chasers. They have a show now on the Travel Channel. And so I had to watch a bunch of that shit. And literally, they have somebody's like, I don't know, man. I think she's possessing me. Like they go that hard with it being fake.
Oh, I love
and they're
that
like,
shit.
Tudor, are you there? And he's like,
Yeah.
Wait, so they're like,
there's a little girl here. You're like, what? How? It's a reality show. Anyway, so check out that and make fun of those guys.
I love that
It's
they've
terrible.
run out of things to call ghost hunters, so they're down to
Wraith
wraith
chasers.
chasers.
Yeah.
It's
Anyways,
like zombie movies.
Yeah.
I don't think about zombie movies like they're rippers, they're grabbers,
they're rape chasers. They're rapers.
those
Anyway, so
Jeepers
that's-
Creepers over there.
The deceased chasers. We gotta watch out for those.
Well, I mean, dude, okay, I gotta say one that's in retrospect for me very haunted, and that was like the old Boy Scout camp I used to go to. I don't remember like Osawatomie, some crazy bullshit like that. And we were I used to go to Boy Scout camp, and Boy Scouts as a black dude is already a Jordan Peele horror movie. And, all that fucking Americana and the short shorts and the fucking sashes and shit. Like for a black child, it's a horror movie. And then you're out in the woods with all these white boys. It's like, oh, jeez, in the city, these motherfuckers is wild. Out in the wild, all the things go racing through your head for all the bad shit that could happen.
Right.
And frankly, not that much bad shit happened to me. I was really kind of a good kid, and everything was going on and blah blah. But I remember there was this thing called the tribe of Mikose, and it was their bastardization of Native American rituals.
Sure.
And they would have like 70, 80, maybe even 100 of these old pot-bellied fuckers with like Indian feathers and shit. And there was always like 3 or 4 real Native Americans there to like lend cultural
Make it
credence to
okay
this fucking garbage. It's like, yeah, thanks, Two Bears. Thanks for coming. Your name's really Jimmy Lawson.
Yeah.
Like, so Jimmy Lawson and Crispo Atticus or whatever the fuck. these fucking frankly white boys who worked in fucking auto zones, but happened to be Native American by culture, or ethnicity, would lend credence to this dumb garbage and all these fat white boys with their fake bullshit regalia, even full headdresses and shit. We're like all in this big tribal council, and we would have to come and like we would have to put some shit in our magic amulet shit around our neck with like shit that meant stuff to us and tell them about our magic and do this whole faux Native American thing. And now that I look back on it, it was the Jordan Peele Midsummer type situation, because they would like glower at you and kind of like shove you and try to tell you why you weren't a real brave of their tribe. It's like, motherfucker, you are a manager at Kinko's. Get the fuck out of my face, you bitch. I mean, they were just so like lording this fake mythology over you, and then you had to jump off like a very short cliff, like 12 feet into some water or whatever, to prove your bravery or whatever. All this goofy shit.
weird.
And it was just like, no wonder everybody thinks y'all are pederasts. You're worse than that.
Take you away from your parents to where we do some weird shit you would never experience anywhere else in the
you
world.
come out braver.
But don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anybody about this fake Native American shit.
This is sacred bond that we've formed.
Sacred bond. The eagle feather in your underwear. So yeah, that was honestly very creepy to me. Now that I look back on it, back then it was like just funny because they were kind of goofy. But now it was like this weird indoctrination to like Boy Scouts is a path to spiritual awareness and Native Americanness and this kind of like Gwyneth Paltrow, throw a rock in your pussy, type bullshit.
I thought that was a James Brown type thing. Gwyneth Paltrow said that? He's like, show hold on, bitch, throw a rock in your pussy. I'm going on tour.
I don't feel good.
I just think of that crazy video where he's like on crack being interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out on love. I'm out on love.
I mean, but
I'm out on love.
No, I don't want to be a defender of him, but obviously, if you're like methed out and they're interviewing you and you manage to work in all your song titles,
It's incredible.
He's
I
excellent.
agree.
He's excellent in that video.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like he's like, get above that thing. It's a man's world.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's
how do you feel today? Living in America.
He goes, I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong.
yeah.
I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong. That's the best defense when someone's like, are you okay?
That's a very good point. Yeah, anybody who wants to laugh at that video, I challenge you to take an amount of drugs that will put you on the planet Jupiter, and then try to get your plugs in.
Hardest working man in show business.
Do
You're
it.
still working. Goddamn.
Dare you?
You're
And make
still
love
clocked
good.
in. Yeah, you're still clocking in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we. I was in Order of the Arrow, which is the similar thing you're talking about, like Boy Scouts. Fake
KKK.
fake Native American. Side quest.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Side quest, right?
Yeah, and all they for hours by the time we were doing this is like probably like the year 2000, 2001, something like that. The whole thing was like you had to go sleep in the woods, but not with a tent. So you just had to like get a sleeping bag. And my thing is like, I can absolutely fall asleep anywhere. I fell asleep on a speaker at Bonnaroo because the band was boring as shit. They were called Perpetual Groove. They suck. And even
Oh man, I know a lot of kids on opioids who love that band.
they love the P Groove.
P Groove, yeah.
That's one of my dad's solo albums. Sorry, Dad. You're great.
I fell asleep leaning up against a speaker there. So the thing is, like, they would send like the advisors around who were just like kids that were like a year older than you, and they would wake your ass up. And so I got moved around like 6 times because anywhere they put me, I just like immediately go out. I was like, this is not a challenge. Okay, if the goal is to get me to sleep on the ground, buddy, I'm really fucking good at it. So, yeah. And we couldn't talk for 24 hours. That was part
They
of it.
did that to us too.
Yeah,
They did
yeah.
that to- and all you did was get together
weird.
with the kid that we could trust and talk to him a whole.
Of course, yeah, no, shout out to my friend AG who listens to the show. Yeah, he was one of the supervisors or whatever, and we were just talking about like music and shit the whole time. I was like, oh yeah, this is,
so you're
this is
like
whatever.
traumatized by a strange man, but you learn how to ride horseback.
That's life, baby. That's what you get.
That's okay.
You play the hand you're dealt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a haunted. All right.
What you got?
So I was thinking of like classically haunted. Like I've been to Sloss Furnaces before, but that was like it was for Furnace Fest, which was like this metalcore festival in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It wasn't very scary. So it was scary how much like eyeliner and shit was going around.
I was gonna say saliva wasn't terrifying.
Oh no! I mean, this was like fucking like Taking Back Sunday and shit. Like
even better.
but like
Sloss Furnace, by the way, is it's a steel manufacturing plant that's now a venue.
Yeah, a bunch of like steel workers died. In the 30s or something, and then it's like a.
And now they rock it.
Now they rock. And like, and
now they're
ended up
singing
seeing-
back up for Rob Zombie.
Oh, I mean, I saw Andrew WK at it. It was very fun. I got on stage. But the most haunted room I've ever been in, this came to me as we were talking about it. So I was it's in my grandfather's house, and there's this room in the back that my aunt used to sleep in. And I never slept in that room before, and I was like sleeping in there for some reason alone. And like I looked up, and there's this like hole in the ceiling. And I go to bed, and it's creepy in there. There's like creaky noises and shit. Next morning, I get up, and I'm like, so what's that? That's that hole in the ceiling. And my grandpa's like, oh, that? Well, we used to let people, traveling salesmen and stuff, stay in that room. And one time, some guy tried to blow his head off. He said, tried. Didn't succeed. I was like, so is it like a situation where his foot slipped and the gun went off and he's like, you know what, life's worth living? Or did he blow his like face off and live? Or like did he die? And he was just like, here, just have your breakfast. So like I never heard about it.
Don't ask questions about Arseface. Okay.
Wow. Oh my god, yeah. So that was the scariest shit in the world. So like, yeah, I would call that haunted. I
Willie
suppose.
Loman tried to blow his fucking face off.
Dude,
He was like, fuck it.
what a dick move, too.
Wow.
Do that shit in your car.
I know it's like it's a bed and breakfast at someone's house, asshole. Like,
Do that shit somewhere else. You're a guest.
Like, this guy has
Show
kids.
some respect.
These goddamn suiciders. So rude.
So rude.
So rude.
They would try to shoot their heads off.
I mean,
no big deal.
I'm cleaning up this man's teeth and fragments of his nose.
I mean, I
and-
don't mean to make light of it, but like, go somewhere, go in the woods. You can splatter all over the trees.
How much can you impinge on somebody's hospitality?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Go downstairs. I mean, and this is how like uptight everyone is in the South too. I bet he went downstairs with half a face, and they're like, "How was your stay?" And he was like, "It was good. Can I have some oatmeal?"
Blew out all my teeth. They're your ceiling.
That's a hell of a sunburn you got there, buddy.
Can I just get some grits?
He's just tonguing a bowl of oatmeal. My mom's like crying.
That's so
Jesus
great.
Christ.
So yeah, that's the most haunted.
That's good. That's scary as hell.
room I've been in.
legit.
Yeah, Sloss Furnace was historically more haunted.
Yeah,
but, you know.
I was gonna say my number 2 also involves Boy Scouts actually. So there is there's a old house out in Opelika, Alabama called Spring Villa. And Spring Villa, first of all, they found out years later was actually designed and built by a guy named Horace King. And Horace King is like a guy I would honestly like to, do a lot more research on. But basically, he was a bridge and house designer, and he was also a freed black slave as well. And in the South, and he was so in demand, he built the staircase inside the Alabama State Capitol. Like he was this like extremely influential like builder, and he built this house, and it was owned by a guy named Penn Young, and there was this legend that like one of his like workers killed him on his staircase, because Horace King was known for building these like elaborate spiral staircases, and above this particular one there's a big alcove that's about 6 feet tall, and supposedly the guy he wouldn't pay him or something was fucked, and he hid up in this alcove, and when he came down for breakfast, jumped down and like stabbed him a bunch of times, and there's blood on the 13th step of this spiral staircase.
Chilling.
And my mom told me this story as we were driving to Spring Villa, because it's like kind of a public park and they have a picnic area, and it was my like graduation ceremony from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts. And so they were having this huge event out there, and my mom is telling me this story on the way. So of
A lot
course,
of haunted Boy Scout stories.
hell yeah, dude. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about. But she's telling me this on the way out to this place. So obviously, I'm like, I've said this on the show before. My mom it'd be very difficult to get a toy out of my mom, but she would always buy me any book I wanted, which I think is probably the way to raise a kid and shit. But the problem is, all my books were UFOs, Bigfoots, fucking ghosts. Like, I was just like,
Fucking ghosts like porn.
Even cowgirls
Ghosts
get the
fucking
blues.
each other.
Yeah.
Blowing Dan Aykroyd.
my childhood bookshelf looked like Fox Mulder's bookshelf, basically. Like that was me.
Unless you look like David Duchovny, that'll fuck you up.
Yeah, and
You better be
so
real sexy.
and so my mom tells me this awesome fucking ghost story, and like supposedly he like haunts the house, and we're on the way out there, and I'm like, well, I got to see it. I got to see the steps. But with this house, they've built 2 sections of it. So there's the original house where the blood and the steps are, and then next to it, they've made a banquet hall for weddings and stuff like that. And they look exactly the same. And because I'm a kid, I couldn't figure out like, oh, this is new construction. So me and a couple other people, I'm telling them this story. I'm like, there's fucking blood on the steps. We got to see this shit. And so me and a bunch of kids in the troop like went, and I took off my Boy Scout hat and like jimmied the lock, like using my fucking hat.
That's a good Boy Scout.
Well, yeah, exactly. I broke into this place, and it turns out I broke into the wrong half of the house. I broke into the banquet hall part of the house, and there's no steps. And I was like, where is this? And I was like, I don't know where it is. So as we're turning around, the groundskeeper is like, what the fuck are you doing in here? And starts screaming at us. And of course, I'm in like 4th grade, so I'm just like, I wanted to see the bloody steps. Like, and the groundskeeper was, shout out, very cool. He was just like, you want to see the blood? And I was like, yeah. So he unlocked.
Yes, I do, mister.
He jumped on his shoulders. He was like, follow me.
He unlocked the other part of the house, and the top floor is like, it's so old, it's been condemned. So they've kind of like put a door over the staircase. So he unlocks that too. And he's like, go ahead, go up. And so I start counting like 1,
The door
2,
slams shut and locks
3.
behind you.
And I lived there for 10 years.
It's worse than that. I get up to the 13th step, and they have clearly like painted blood on the step because so there was red on the steps, but I'm not gonna say it was blood. And then I was like, oh, and I was still like, ooh, there it is, like trying to, my brain is telling me it's fake, but I'm like, oh, it's still cool.
Yeah.
And I turn around to go back down, and as soon as I turned around, I lost my footing and then went down all 13 steps on my ass. And these are like giant 1850s fucking steps. So, and I fucked my tailbone up for like a year. Like
the groundskeeper, like, don't fucking tell anyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Boy Scout.
Yeah,
Just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Well, the thing was, like, both my parents were there.
He was just jerking off in the corner. He was like, yeah, awful. This is so hot.
Well, the thing is, like,
hurt kid.
It's a very complicated fetish of mine. Sure, it works out.
I explain myself.
I hardly ever get a plump fall like that.
Be in every step, baby, all the way.
plump fall.
Sorry. Well, did the groundskeeper react? Or you go like, hey, that's
well, no,
what it goes?
my parents were there too, because when he caught us in the other side, he went and like he was like, hey, this little fucker broke into this house, like, and my parents were like, yelling at me and shit, and I was so like, oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted to see the blood. So he was like, oh, okay, I'll show you the blood.
Okay, so he was doing your
you want the yeah, to quote AC/DC, if you want blood, you got it.
Yeah.
Woo, what a life.
Best AC/DC song.
Fucking A, yeah, and that's how Guar closes out their shows as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
And then for my number one, I had Old Bryce Hospital in Northport, right across the river from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to that spot?
I never went, but I'd heard it was a thing that people would dare each other to do and shit.
Yeah.
Go to Old Bryce.
Yeah.
'cause it's super haunted.
Yeah.
But did I ever go there? I don't remember. I was drunk a lot through college.
I was going to say, I think you'd
I was drunk in
remember.
haunted places.
I was drunk. I mean, yeah. I was drunk in graveyards, drunk in fucking haunted houses, abandoned hospitals. I was just drunk.
Yeah. That place is extra haunted because it used to be a plantation and then it was a insane asylum that had to be basically shut down in the 70s because it was a war crime.
I absolutely did go there. I know where you're talking about.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things was like, it's just open. It's still there. The top floor has completely burned down, so it's even sketchier now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still standing, but it doesn't have a roof. And but the funnest thing was walking around and seeing all the graffiti. And the one I remember was down in the cafeteria area. Somebody was trying to do the 7 deadly sins, so it was like wrath and fucking greed, and then somebody just wrote glue Tony. It's like
Glue Tony.
yeah, G-L-U.
I'm the stickiest.
G-L-U-T-O-N-Y.
They call me Glue Tony.
I'm just stick to him like glue. I'm going to jail for a long time.
He's like this ambulance chasing lawyer. They call me Glue Tony. This motherfucker backed into you. I'm gonna stick to him like glue. All right. He's also like 600 pounds.
He also really likes gluten.
He's like, he's got a loaf of bread in one hand and some lawyer books in another one, and he's glued to a park bench. So he's like, hey, glue Tony over here.
Glue Tony over here.
Come on. Hey, somebody wrongs you, I stick to him like glue. Hey, call Tony Glue if you want to sue.
If you want to sue,
Tony Glue.
his words are rubber, and I'm Tony, and I'm glue. Anything he says is gonna bounce off me, and I'm gonna make sure that you sue. Glue Tony. What do you want?
What do you want to win or do you want to fuck around?
You want to fuck around here? Come on, my mother made a nice struzy for you. A nice good. Why?
Tony.
Hey, my mother's making sauce. Stop with this obstruction of the court.
Hey, sorry I can't stick around. But I got another case I gotta go through. Glue Tony.
And every time he leaves, he just puts his hand out and sticks to a car and it drags him away.
See you later.
It's a public bus.
It's a bus. Yeah.
Sticks on his bus like a squirrel.
Yeah.
I'm like Spider Guy.
Yeah. But it's a bus with his face on it.
Oh yeah. He could travel through. He could travel through any bench ad or bus ad of his. He just walks through them like a dreamscape.
This is now my favorite superhero.
Glue Tony.
Glue Tony.
Dude, ambulance chasing Candyman lawyer. It's an urban legend.
Yeah, you have a little bit too much pasta primavera before you go to bed. You're gonna see Glue Tony. Okay.
I love Glue Tony. My other favorite piece of graffiti was somebody drew a one of those lowrider like trucks like they have in this, it'd be like a little pickup truck that they've dropped down, and they just did a crude drawing of that with spray paint, and under it just said "My mud cock."
Oh boy!
And I've never figured this out.
wow.
I think about it anytime anybody mentions old Bryce. I'm immediately like, "My mud cock." What the fuck does it mean?
Graffiti shit, just some insanity paired with some other insanity.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
and
that
it's
was
not
like.
even the kind of truck that you drive in the mud. That's why it's confusing. If it was a big lifted truck, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, my mud cock. But this is clearly a street racing pickup truck. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so those are my three: Andersonville,
Tony's.
Springville, and Glue Tony's Old Bryce
The
Hospital.
offices of Glue Tony.
It's just gluttony pronounced different.
I'll take you to court. That's infringement of the image or whatever.
I'm gonna sue the Bible.
Sue the Bible.
That's like when those two guys, I actually talked about this on the Patreon this week. I was talking to a friend of mine up in Huntsville, Captain Fat Strong. Shout out. Thanks for being on the show. Didn't want to give his real name, and that's his name.
I was like, I'm not gonna ask who that was.
He's a working man with an alias. But
respect you.
we talked
do.
about the fact that there is the guy in Alabama, Mike Slocum, who was the Alabama Hammer, and he was in like a legal fight with a lawyer in Texas who was the Texas Hammer. And
Oh my
God.
so two unstoppable hammers coming right at each other.
Holy shit. I don't know. Does anyone else have a haunted place?
I honestly, I definitely am in the camp of like I don't go to haunted places.
Yeah.
I think I got haunted one time. It's okay. This is the weirdest shit ever because I don't even know if it counts as a haunting. I don't know if it's the headliner though because it's so stupid. Let's risk it. Let's go secondary, and then we'll have that one as the headliner. The second most haunted places I ever went. I used to work for an internet company. Yada yada yada. One of the fans of the stuff that we did, the little like videos and stuff that we did was Taj Jackson. Taj Jackson is Tito's son, I think.
Oh, okay.
So Tito's son is like independently wealthy from some kind of way. I mean, I didn't know the Jackson 5 money lasted that long, but it was like Beatles money for a minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's like, he seems to be really rich, and he was at like the I forgot what it's not Neverland, okay, but the house that the Jacksons bought when they were kids and used to live in there with their parents while they were kind of like super famous kids, but they lived in the
Jackson
house with their
5
parents.
era,
That Jackson 5 era house. It's in the valley, and like you drive past the last donut shop and turn right,
Okay.
and you're at this house.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
in the heart of the valley, the heart of the like whack valley. Like anybody could afford to live there.
Yeah.
But, like the neighborhood grew up around it or whatever. But back then, it was like a mansion, and it still is a mansion, but it's just on this regular ass street. So I get invited to this party at the Jackson house. And I'm at the Jackson house, and I see fucking Taika Waititi. I see fucking all types of motherfuckers are there. But it's got this melancholy over the whole thing. And even if you don't count any kid fucking or anything like that, let's say you don't count any of that stuff. Let's say you put that on the shelf over here and say that it happened at Neverland or it didn't happen because you like want to be starting something that much.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, it's still haunted from Joe Jackson beating their fucking ass.
At the end of the day, Jermaine is still sulking by the punch bowl.
You know what I mean? So like every place, it seemed like I would be near a stairwell and be like, I wonder if somebody got the ass beat right.
Same thing happened to me at Graceland.
Yes.
I swear to God, where I was like, he was drinking fucking Jack on the Rocks, being like, shut up, whore. I was like, I don't think this is a very nice house.
I don't think nice things happen here.
Yeah, would he bend the help over the banister here or here?
Sadness in this room.
Under a chair, you see a peanut butter jelly sandwich or peanut butter and banana sandwich. Yeah. Anyway, so like that felt really haunted to me. And yeah, I'm glad that one went first because it's not that good, but it is weird. It's like, there was a definitely psychic energy there of this weirdness.
Yeah.
But I think the most haunted place was my fucking house. And I think I might have haunted myself, and I shall explain. I've never told the story ever before. I was in my house as a kid, maybe 4 or 5, maybe. And I looked up in my house. There was the central staircase that went up to the second floor and the primary bedroom for my mom and dad. And it was like midday, so the light was falling kind of weird, like, or maybe going into the afternoon. So they had this like half in shadow, half out of shadow thing going. And it's a long, stark staircase until my little eyes seemed a billion miles away. And at the top of the stairs was a little man. And he was like squeezing his little plump fist, like he was like,
Oh no!
like he was like waiting to get at me almost.
Oh fuck!
And he had like this weird grimace, and he was seemed to be gray to me at that point, but maybe he was brownish gray. I don't know, just sort of a dead thing color. And he was like at the top of the stairs, and I think there was a little like jar next to him, and he was like. And I was just frozen in fear.
Holy shit.
And then I just fucking like went back in my room. Like a little kid, you think anything can protect you. So like I wouldn't, as a kid, jumped in my bed, put all the blankets over me, and fucking never thought about it for 30 fucking years, frankly.
Whoa.
And then I was listening to my mom. My mom was saying something that like when I was a little kid, she could never trust me to get out of her sight like most kids. But my little fat ass, what I would do is grab the cookie jar and climb up those stairs and sit at the top and just jam on cookies. And she would be looking all over the house for me, and then she would run to that spot and look up and see me breathing hard from the exertion of climbing up there and eating the cookies. So I think that was some psychic reflection.
Oh shit! Twin Peaks fan.
I think it's a weird psychic reflection through the universe of me. I saw some time loop. And maybe I got into some flour or something, and that's why my skin was like that.
You saw yourself and was like, I can't live like
dude,
this.
I don't know. It was like I saw myself as a baby, and the you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Dude.
So that really struck me weird because 30 years later, she tells me a story about how I used to climb up there and eat cookies. Cookie jar. Breathing hard. Little guy.
Oh my God.
That's incredible.
It's weird.
It's so. I mean, like there's something to like psychic reflection or projection or something like. I kind of had a similar thing like that happen. Like it was another family based thing, but I was at this like house where like my whole family was at, and like fucking, I would see this guy like in a black suit and a black hat, and he would like doff his hat to me and turn the corner. This is when I was a really little kid. And then I'd like chase around the corner, and there he was again, doffing his hat, smiling, turn the corner. And then I went inside, and there's this he was in this picture, and I was like, that's the guy outside. And they're like, that's Uncle Bud. He's been dead for like 50 years.
Oh, shit.
And then I told that story when I went back home with Carly, and they're like, that's nice. So this is, I think it's like something like when you're a kid, it's like, I guess it's like, because mine was just like reflecting something that I'd obviously seen in a picture, and then like I put it outside, but like that was your own, like that was reflecting something that you were doing. You saw a version of yourself. I guess?
Maybe it was like, maybe it's like how a memory processed in your brain.
Yeah.
Or, my preferred thing that I slingshot around the sun.
You're your own ghost.
I think you should look at it that way.
That's how badass Ed Greer is. He is his own ghost.
the glutinous ghost.
That is.
You seen yourself eating cookies?
You may be old damages.
Old damages, all right.
Dude, that's a free boast to any like aspiring rapper. Like, I'm my own ghost. Like, that's you can't beat that.
I haunt myself, B.
I haunt myself.
Oh my God.
I go bump in the night.
Hey, I'm the one who knocks.
Well done.
Oh Christ, man, that's funny.
So our next top three, this one comes from Rothinson, listening in Colorado. Shout out to Rothinson, and this is very exciting. So a couple months ago, we discussed with Kyle Clark and Taylor Brass and Harrell the top songs of 1980. So piggybacking off of that, Rothinson wants to know, and I figure like this is the damn crowd to do it in, top three films of 1980.
Hell yeah.
All right. Who's going first? You got it?
I'll start with
the top three is obvious, and it's gonna probably all be.
I was gonna say
we're all gonna do one. I know we're all gonna do the same.
Yeah,
because I think your say might be different.
All right, I'm gonna start my number three, and this was difficult, but my number three is the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
Not on my list, but definitely it's the contender.
It's in there.
I went with the same approach to this that I did to the songs. It's not even necessarily like critical darling or any of that shit. It's just strictly which movies have I watched the most.
Sure.
Right.
And so with that as the category, Blues Brothers, watched it over and over like a psycho as a child, and still on Thanksgiving. It's the best movie to put on while you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner, because if you're the one cooking, you don't have to look at the screen, but it's a damn musical. So you're like, oh, hey, Ray Charles is on, or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, that's my number 3. Who wants to give their number 3?
I'll go number 3, Empire Strikes Back.
All right, let's talk about it. That's my number 1.
Okay, I feel like that at this point in the game, that's sort of Star Wars, right? It is the best individual film.
Yeah.
And if you take like 15 years away from it, you might be able to watch it blankly, like with fresh eyes. But beyond that, it's hard for me to look at it separated.
When I was a kid, though, it was like, when you go back as an adult, look at those movies. This conversation was bound to happen. when you go back and look at those movies, critically, it's the most respected one. As a kid, I liked Return of the Jedi the best.
Yeah,
of course.
So that's why it's number 3 for me.
Sure.
Like if it was, like it's number 3 because it was like, it kind of tells some adult themes. It was darker.
Yeah.
And I respected the most, I guess, as an adult, but as a kid, it was like the one that kind of gets you from the first one to Return of the Jedi.
Sure.
It's my number 1 because, like I said, it's definitely the one I've watched the most.
Right.
But I'll say this: they, in the big, nostalgia fest jack off that was the sequel trilogy, they never brought back the best goddamn vehicle in the fucking story, which is the snowspeeder, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The
that
hot
is-
stuff rules.
Yeah.
Hot stuff rules.
Yeah.
And Lando is
The best, yeah.
Yeah, he
He's-
rules in that
I
movie.
mean,
And also, that one feels more like a serial than any
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
It is truly just popping from different scenes.
No,
Yeah.
I'm this is the background of my phone. I'm a huge Billy D guy.
I forgot that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Billy D is my guy. Yeah, so I'm definitely that's my number 1.
When your parents name you William Williams, you got to be the coolest.
D better stand for damn. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Billy D. I mean,
That's hilarious.
his
That's
name is
great.
William Williams.
yeah, that's right.
He had to be cool.
Yeah, we did an episode a few years ago that was a tournament of Billies. It was just who's the best Billy, and I believe Billy D cinched that tournament.
Billy Freakin? Didn't
I mean, hey, yeah, look, Corrigan, get fucked. Billy D.
Okay, so number 3, Ed, what's yours? I'm curious.
I don't know if it's number 3, but it's the one that popped in my mind that I watched maybe the least of these, but it's still great, and that's Airplane, man.
Hell yeah, that's
my number 1.
Right, so
That's my number 1.
2.
Airplane is just a cultural artifact. There's so much dope about it. There's like I was watching Winning Time, and they showed a dramatization of Kareem filming the airplane thing. It's
So
just like
fucking
fucking
funny.
like you like gladiator movies, all that
You like
shit.
movies about gladiators.
Yeah, and then fucking
The lines, man.
and then like
So
the,
good.
the jive thing, like just thinking about American culture at that time. And thinking of Leave It to Beaver's mom speaking jive,
Yes.
and how jive must have sounded to white people of the time. Like they've taken all of our English words and changed all the definitions on us so that we don't understand them in our own country that we enslaved them to build.
Yes,
This is a fucking affront on some level. It was like culturally weird, and that was a great scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I would say to speak to like the genius of that casting specifically what it reminds me of is when I saw Bradley Whitford turn up and Get Out, where I was like, that is the fucking funniest bit of casting ever, because you take this, just the beautiful subversion of it. But to y'all's point about Airplane, this is how culturally impactful that movie is. It's a parody of Airport 77,
It's
which is a
almost-
movie that fucking no one remembers.
Right.
And it's almost exact dialogue. They literally, what they used to do is their commentary tracks are so fucking great because they love their own shit so much. So they're just still laughing at all their jokes. But they used to like tape off VHS, like off TV somehow they would tape these movies that would play late at night, and they were these like disaster movies that were made in the 40s and stuff.
Yeah.
And they took literally lifted scenes from all these movies and just stitched them together.
Right,
So
right.
the majority of that movie, like scene wise, are from other movies.
Right.
And some of the dialogue is exactly the same, except they're just playing it with absurdism.
It's something like, and there's scenes like the adherence to like classical like the Hollywood disaster movies, and then like those scenes like the jive talking scene and like all that. But like there's like that movie for something that's like established a style that's all like you do a million jokes and some of them may not work or whatever. like the small jokes in that movie really work for me too. Like the fucking like when Robert Stack takes off the big sunglasses to reveal a smaller pair of sunglasses. So fucking funny. Like
Dude, when that little girl says, "I like my coffee black, like I like my men," or whatever the fuck, I was like, "God damn!" And not just I am not seizing on all the race stuff. I love the misogyny stuff where that they were lining up to beat that bitch up.
oh yeah,
That was the funniest thing in the world.
And the nuns doing it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they had nunchucks and fucking come on,
and the visual gags, yeah, like the boys reading Nun's Life. And it's like two nuns surfing. It's so fucking stupid. Oh my god, man. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I love
beautiful
Zucker
stuff.
Brothers very much. And
Yeah.
that movie's the beginning of all their shit. But Top Secret Rules, Police Squad, have you ever
Yes.
seen the TV show?
I was
Absolutely.
going to say, yeah, well,
so fucking
and
fun.
Airplane launched Leslie Nielsen
Man,
too.
Naked Gun.
Yeah, Naked Gun came right off of that.
Are you a doctor? And he's like performing he's like delivering a baby. Yes.
Dude, I still think that one of the
love
funniest
it.
things,
Oh, yeah.
and I know we're not talking about Naked Gun, but like the funniest shit ever was when like fucking OJ was in that room with all the bad guys, and like he gets discovered, and they start like they shoot him, but then he stumbles into some wet paint, and he's like,
Oh, dude.
That's so great.
I go back to it all the time too. That scene where he's like, Mrs. Nordenberg, we will not stop until your husband's killer has been brought to justice. Now let's get a bite to eat.
There's a part where he's like sneaking around on the dock or something, and on the commentary track, they're like, "This is actually surveillance footage from outside of the Simpson home." And one of the guys like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! Like they can't help themselves. Even like 50, 60-year-old men, they're like,
can't help
still shitting on it."
What you got for number 3?
Okay, so for me, I would say Airplane's number 2 for me. There's an elf in the room that someone's going to say eventually. But the third one for me is probably Raging Bull.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the reason why it's third is I feel like that movie has a lot of aesthetic stuff that is mind-blowing and gorgeous and all that. But I think it's one of his movies that sort of lack commentary, and same with Wolf of Wall Street. And I find those ones to sometimes be like, this is all kind of about nothing, but I enjoy this. I enjoy the characters or the ideas that we're exploring.
Right.
But he's not like, I think Goodfellas and Taxi Driver and things like that are superior. So obviously, it's like if you wanted to show an alien, how does Martin Scorsese direct movies? Just show 5 seconds of a boxing match. And
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about how he tells stories, I think you have to show something else.
I think it speaks to his like Catholic internalized anger thing too. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, definitely not as like as much as like Taxi Driver, where it's talking about like how like the internal anger can like turn to paranoia and all this crazy
or just
shit.
has some sort of commentary on what he thinks about it. Raging Bull is just sort of like, look, it's two brothers. I don't know, and the world's in the middle of it, and here's a lot of my techniques. And I think he even says that the movie's a big trick bag, and he thought it was gonna be his last movie, so he was like, I'm gonna do every trick I've ever wanted to do, and then we'll shut it down. And then of course it was a success, and he was never gonna stop.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
But,
Wolf of Wall Street has the Northman problem too, where it's just like, these are not good people. Stop cheering for them.
Yeah.
These are amoral. This is a different, whatever.
You have to wink a little, I think, sometimes, but not always.
Yeah.
But I will say also the other thing is I just saw, this is just a total different thing, but He Got Game. I just went and saw that at the Academy Museum. That's my movie. And it's fucking incredible. And I've seen it many times. I love this movie. But all the basketball stuff in that movie is shot very much
Like Raging Bull. Oh, yeah.
And I almost think he saw Raging Bull and went, what if I did that shit with basketball?
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to see that shit with basketball, everyone should watch He Got Game.
Genius is Steel.
It's a beautiful movie. It's so great.
My number 2, it's probably the one that everybody's about to say, The Shining.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah, that movie, I been watching it forever. I'm still in that.
Every time. You can watch it anytime. It
I
doesn't
still feel like it's a lesser work. I do.
It is.
I like it.
I agree. It's not. I don't think it's up there with like fucking. I don't think it's up there with 2001 or like fucking even Clockwork Orange. But like it is.
I do.
You do?
I think this is my.
I think again, it's a lot of trick doing that's badass, but I don't really know if he's saying very much.
But the style, the fucking directorial style on
Incredible.
it is
Well,
immaculate.
motherfuckers
No, to your point about him not saying very much, I like that it is a movie that is, if you've seen the documentary, it's up to wild interpretation as to what the fuck that movie
Oh yeah,
is
Room
about.
237.
Boy, yeah, because
it's a great documentary.
Yeah, because I watched that documentary and you're like, yeah, maybe it is about how you fake the moon landing. Like, I don't know what the fuck that movie is about, but
the 237 is wild on that shit though. 'Cause like, the scene where that dog is blowing that guy.
yeah.
It's about what a dog eat dog world.
It's like that's your own projection. Yeah.
This was the gas crisis.
Yeah.
So people were chugging cock all over the
I will say too, the best utilization of unhinged Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah,
Without a doubt.
Well, no,
Without a doubt.
I think that one performance poisoned me personally to any other Jack Nicholson stuff that came before.
Sure.
Because I remember watching, not in a bad way, it just kind of gave me a false expectation. Like, for instance, in college, I took a American cinema of the 1970s. That was my last elector. You know, they made me take an electorate, and it was like, oh, I could just fucking watch like The Exorcist and Star Wars and shit. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. And so it was one of those things I was like, this is so stupid, but it's kind of cool. And I had never seen Five Easy Pieces.
Oh, great.
And I'm watching it, waiting for him to lose his mind, and he doesn't. Yeah. And I'm just like, well, shit.
I mean, at the most is him going like, you're all full of shit.
Right, exactly. I was like, well, why are we watching a Jack Nicholson movie? About Schmidt, same thing. I was watching that. I'm like, when's he going to freak out? And he doesn't. So,
dude, I mean, I remember watching The Shining in college. We were all like doing mushrooms, and like I was gonna be like, "Oh man, get ready! This is gonna be crazy!" And it was like the fourth or fifth time I'd seen it, so it wasn't scary. It was more just like joyous. It was like, "Oh my god, this is an incredible movie!
Here comes the elevator of blood!"
Yeah. I was just more just stoked for all the parts.
Yeah, but no, I like it. It was one of those movies I watched for the first time when I was like a teenager, and ever since then, every time I watch it, I get something new out of it, and it is like true art where it's like, what do you think it means?
Yeah.
They spoon feeds you fucking nothing, you know? But it's endlessly interesting. It's, every
and
time.
quotable and very quotable.
Undoubtedly rules. It's fucking great movie.
Oh, it's great. It's my favorite Stanley Kubrick. I'll say it. Yeah.
They shouldn't have killed my man Scatman.
I know.
They did Crothers bad in that.
They did.
Hold on. This motherfucker was at home with big titty portraits over his head. And a rock hard dick at 70 years old.
Big
just
titty
fucking,
portraits
just chilling out. Just chilling out, having a great life. And he gets a psychic message from some little cracker from across the country. And he flies in the middle seat. He flies across the country to go to the snow cat. Gets a fucking snow cat.
Yeah.
Goes into the fucking, walks in the door, ready to save, gets axed to the chest. We never see him again.
Yeah.
That's brutal. That's like when in that weird Jurassic Park where like the fucking pterodactyl comes down and grabs the lady, then they drop her in a pond and she gets chomped on by another thing.
Yes,
and they fight over and rip her body apart and steal her body across the world. That's that violent of a death. To make him plane, trains, and automobile across the country to save somebody and get axed to the chest. That's awesome. That's brutal.
I will say,
just as a fuck you to Stephen King. They did it.
One of the weirdest scares in it is like the onset of The Shining when Danny's learning that he has The Shining, and it's just that close up into Scatman Crothers where he says, "How about some ice cream, Doc?" Like that part, it's so fucking weirdly scary.
Yeah,
that part used to unnerve me.
That's like that guy who tipped his hat to you.
Yeah, it's like the same shit. I don't like that shit.
He would say that to you.
Dude, I like jump scares. I'll do it all day, but like really intense, like fucking, I don't like it.
It really intense men in suits.
Oh, I mean, if someone's head gets like split with an axe, I'm like, ah! But if it's like a slow pan with like building creeping music, ooh, I hate it.
Yeah, so wait a minute. Is Empire Strikes Back on all of our lists?
It's my number one.
It was not on my list because, mine was Shining, Airplane, Raging Bull. Because I felt
Shining,
like Airplane beats out Blues Brothers.
All mine have been touched too. Mine was third was Empire, second Shining, first Airplane.
Okay,
so I did Airplane. I guess I would have to say Empire just to be a basic bitch. But this one you guys didn't touch on. Motherfucking Superman 2 came out.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And Superman 2 is my shit because it has everything in it, right? It has a fucking, if you're an MRA, you can find a message in there. Don't give up all your powers for no bitch. It ain't worth it. At the end, you have to give up anyway because she found out your secret. You found out you a little punk motherfucker. You know, they don't love you when you're not super. You know, so if you're a piece of shit, that's your message. If you are like, Superman got his ass kicked by criminals. And that's an interesting thing about Superman's personality, right? Superman comes from farm stock. He never had to throw a real punch in his life. So when 3 super criminals come up, they're going to whoop your motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
You literally don't have a chance against them. They will fuck you up. 3 convicts come fight a farm boy. I know who's winning that one. and so, like, that was interesting to me about, like, Superman can be humbled by people who can actually fucking fight. He might need to go chop some wood in the woods or something, get his shit together. And then, like, they get up to his fucking house and shit, and they kind of do the weirdo thing with the powers. There's also, like, iconic moments of idiocy where he, like, rips, when he gets his powers back, he rips his chest shield, the S off, and throws it around the motherfucker, and they fall into a hole and die forever. It's like, wow. If I was going to think of the main shit I'd like my Superman to do, it's wrap motherfuckers in cellophane and drop them down a hole.
Getting medieval on them.
When you have that many powers, you should be creative. Come on.
Right. So I just think it's a titanic piece of film. And last things last, I love the Neo before Zod thing. I think comic book villains have been biting off of that version of Zod for 40 fucking years. At this point. He was just the quintessential perfect. Terrence Stamp is that dude.
Fuck yeah,
He's
Terrence
the
Stamp
best.
rules. The limey, everything he's been in,
the
dude.
limey's unbelievable.
Oh, the line. Tell him I'm fucking coming. I'm fucking coming. I'm coming. Fucking that's coming. Yeah, that's it.
How that hasn't been turned into a meme about something like when you about to something, tell her I'm fucking coming.
Fucking love
I was gonna ask the Richard Donner cut they put out of Superman 2. Is that better? Have you seen them both?
It's longer and it might make a little bit more sense, but I kind of like the one we got because I like the dichotomy of like Superman discovering that like, yes, I am not my powers, but giving up my powers isn't the best way for me to protect humanity. And me being like just a regular guy and going and dying in 30 years with Lois, that isn't necessarily the best application of my skills. I kind of owe it to the world. And this motherfucker beat my ass at a truck stop. So I gotta go get my powers back and get that shit handled. Right. It's like, that's awesome. There's a message in there. I like it.
Yeah. Man, I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid. I'm going to rewatch it now.
I'm curious to rewatch it because when I saw it, I went, oh shit, I should rewatch the first one. And
I rewatched the first one over the pandemic. It holds up. It's fucking cool. I can list some that we missed.
Yeah. I have a couple of runners up too.
So here's some ones that we missed. David Lynch's The Elephant Man,
which is fucking great.
Incredible movie.
He was an alternate career where he made normal ass movies. It's like the only
Anthony
one.
Hopkins, never better than that movie.
Great movie.
First Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Fucking Ordinary People.
Heavy.
There's a
heavy.
big one.
Caddyshack.
Exactly.
Well, there's a lot of booby movies in 1980.
Yeah,
I
this
think
was
it was the end of
the titty comedy was
titty comedy.
because all of these comedies have titties in them at some point where it's like a bikini falls off.
What?
Well, sometimes I think about how assimilated I am as a black person, and then I realize that I don't fuck with Caddyshack, so I'm fine.
I did watch a movie from 1980 last night.
Oh, what was it?
I watched Used Cars, the Robert Zemeckis movie.
Oh, with Kurt Russell.
Whole bunch of titties, first of all.
Yeah.
Me and Holly were kind of like, well, I don't know about that. It was just like, it's literally like they like show this car dealership across the street. They have like a rivalry with. These women get out and they all like just pull their tits out and start dancing. And everyone for the car dealership's like, fuck it, and it's running across the traffic to get to titties. And I was like, I don't know if that translates. 1980, I don't know. But anyways, it actually was just okay. But it has some moments in it that are like wonderful.
Yeah,
like, there are a few set pieces you could pull out and you'd believe it was one of the funniest films you've never seen.
Yeah,
and then you'd watch it and be like, oh, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyways, a lot of titties. People would run across streets and be hit by cars just to look at one up close. What a time, 1980.
So this last one here comes from our friend at Mampers85, listening in the United Kingdom, and they want our top 3 English accents. So
Carter's gonna fucking
that's I mean
pull 3 out.
Let's pull back the curtain. That's why I wanted to include this. I knew Carter was here, so
all right.
I'm going number 3, Sir David Attenborough. I mean, Planet Earth, baby.
We're just listening. I thought we were going to do British accents. Here's my top 3.
No,
Hello, how we doing today? I say, there's your 3. Yeah.
So
good Lord.
Yeah,
There's like the good Lord, I work at a museum.
Yeah, Carter,
and then there's like the hello, I'm a god.
Okay, so go back one. That one sounds like fucking my favorite English accent, which is goddamn
Chimney sweep.
Whoever that fucker. No, not the last one. The one right before that.
Okay.
This one right here.
Not that one right before that. The museum guy.
The museum man, yes.
Yeah, the museum guy. That's fucking fuck. I forgot his name. But the guy in Indiana Jones. That, like,
Marcus.
Right.
Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
That fucking scene where it's like, you'll never catch Marcus. He knows 57 languages. He'll blend in.
Yeah.
You'll never see him again. He's like, I speak English. Damn.
I mean, I would just want to hear like anything in this voice sounds rather sophisticated.
Yeah.
As if you're in the middle of the night, you're going to have a Taco Bell. I would like a cheesy gordita crunch with some cinnamon twists.
I was drunker than fuck. And I ended up
I was
at a
very
Taco
drunk
Bell.
on Jägermeister.
That voice describing like redneck crimes is the funniest thing.
Well, he
you
had gone and made a move at my sister. Well, at that point, I was pretty drunk, and I decided to go and smack him upside the head a bit.
Well, here's the thing about methamphetamine. It makes you fearless. And copper wiring is worth a lot on the open market.
My father didn't raise a scoundrel. How dare you, sir?
Carter, I know one of mine is something you know. So Wayne's World 2, just do the line.
Wayne's World. He gave us a bowl of brown M&Ms. He goes, I had to get him a bowl of brown M&Ms or he wouldn't go on stage that night. It's as if he's got like a bit of a cold.
I had to beat them to death.
I had to beat them to death with their own shoes.
That's the best British.
Oh, hey, that guy's in With Noel and I too, which is a great movie.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Always
I've
wanted
seen
to.
that.
Yeah,
Always wanted to.
And he's like it's a little darker, I guess, but he's still a comedic guy. And he's like he's their drug dealer, and he's like, you don't want to be dosed by me, man, because when you've been dosed by me, you'll know it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff. That's good. That's one of mine. Goddamn it!
It's that guy.
Mark it down.
Well, that's like kind of the perfect thing because I was thinking of like niche voices that that are always in my head, and David Attenborough narrating, what a slug is doing.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
always one of them. But yeah, that was.
There's one thing. My friend Carter from back in Birmingham, we talk about this. There's this behind the music thing. I don't know what it was. This guy's just like old, like 70s coked out record producer, but he's British, and he was like saying something like, and then when we got done recording, I says, "That's a hit record." That's what that is. That's a hit record.
Oh, my girlfriend reads, or she audiobooks. Her and her mom are the biggest Anglophiles I've ever met in my life. The fact that I am not a white boy surprises me every day. Because I'm like, you obviously are this Anglophile. Just go get a white boy from Essex or whatever the fuck. And fuck him, all right? I know that's what you want. Like, she listens to these books, and they're all like narrated by like Barbara Rosenblatt and these giants of voice recording for books.
Yeah.
And they're always taking place in like Victorian England with detectives, or like a couple of them take place in Egypt, but they're like English people in Egypt doing shit. And then she reads these ones
stealing things for the British Museum.
Exactamundo, but calling it anthropology or whatever the fuck, or archaeology. And then she reads these ones where it's like people are always going like, "Are you daft or something?"
Oh yeah,
like
Are you daft?
everybody's a fucking chimney sweep in these books. Just like, Jesus Christ! And then I saw in the newest Star Trek, there is a character called Laan Noon Singh, Noon Singh or whatever, and she's like a descendant of like Khan, Khan. And she sounds like a fucking chimney sweep to me, dude. And she's like, "Captain, we've done this and that with our ship here." But like, you sound like a low-class, shitty English person in space. Like, there's no chimneys on the fucking ship, bitch. Get out of here. Take these shillings the fuck off. Like, she doesn't sound posh enough, and it pisses me off every day. But maybe that's just in my head. You know?
Yeah,
It's like, "Did you see that ludicrous display on the view screen last night?"
Yeah.
It just sounds crazy.
That brings up an interesting point because there's like there's the English actor trying to do the American accent, which is just like they hit the consonants way too hard. So it'll be like, "I want a cheeseburger with fries."
I call that the Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, the
Benedict
Cumberbatch. Yeah.
But the worst is American actors doing British accents. And me and Carly went during the pandemic. We went to this drive-in movie. It was called How to Build a Girl. and it was Beanie Feldstein was in it, and she's like doing this British accent all the whole movie,
God.
and it just takes you out of it because you're just like you just hear her trying really hard to do a British accent, and it's just not believable whatsoever.
Shout out to the entire cast of House of Gucci on that one for the Italians. You're like, boy, this is bad. Wow.
Bona Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah. It straight up, they all sound like Brad Pitt being like, Arrivederci. Like, boy, they're bad.
So I think that's 3, right?
Oh, no, I got to point out my number 2 is easy, is Paul McCartney. That's my, you know.
Right. Well, we was just having fun back in those days.
Exactly.
We were just lads.
Yeah.
We were just lads, you know. You got a little
Lads
booty.
doing pills and fucking prostitutes.
Yeah. Or what's the Dana Carvey thing? It was all a little booty boo. You know what I mean? It was had a little skippity boo bar in it.
But my number 1, the voice that is always in my head is this guy, Magnus Pike. Which you will know as the guy going, science! In She Blinded Me with Science. Wow. And specifically the line at the beginning where he goes,
Yes, but as a known scientist, it would be bit surprising if the girl blinded me with science.
which is fucking... But that guy, he was like a nutrition scientist during World War II, like figured out like what's going to have the most calories and shit that you can get to the front lines. So he's a Nazi fighter, and then he became a television presenter. And according to Thomas Dolby, when he was making that song, he wanted like a mad scientist, and so he just looked in a directory of voice actors, and that guy was in there. He's like, shit, I know that guy from TV, so he just hired him to come in. And that thing where he says, yes, but as a known scientist, it would be a bit surprising if a girl blinded me with science, is actually just a recording of Thomas Dolby giving him directions, where he's like, so I just want a couple of him just going, science, and he tells him, he's like, Magnus, act surprised when you say science. He's like, yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to me. Like that's him reacting to the stage direction.
That's so awesome.
It's just iconic.
That makes me think of Handsome Boy Modeling School, that Prince Paul record.
Yeah.
There's that hilarious Biz Marquee thing where he's like, yeah, man, we're making this record. Like, I want you to be on it. And he's like, okay, cool, whatever. And he's like, he didn't know he's being recorded. He's like, yeah, it's called Handsome Boy Modeling School. And he's like, the fuck is that? That's so awesome. He said, no, you can see it recorded. So fucking funny.
Man.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute, dude. Okay, I know you saw that British guy that was getting arrested that time. Did you? Oh, fuck. But
British guy getting arrested.
What is
he's a British guy getting arrested. Fuck. I literally have it right here on my phone because it's a classic comedy video. But he's getting arrested, and he's like, basically, he's a dine and dodger. He's a dine and dasher.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they finally caught up to him because he goes to like Michelin restaurants and is like, I think I'll have to take a piss. Hold on, and just walk the fuck out.
Hell
leave.
yeah.
And so he's like, being arrested for eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
And dude, he's getting arrested by some guys. He's like, this one's got me on the penis. and he says it like, I see you've learned your judo well. The guys are grabbing him and push him in the car. And they're like, for eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal. I'll send
like
you guys
Sean
the video.
Connery. Yeah.
I'll send you. Dude,
It's Bane. Yeah.
It's Bane.
Have you ever been sucked on your penis?
For a meal?
A succulent Chinese meal.
Succulent.
Succulent.
Dude,
That's so good.
That's when she bit me on the penis, Batman.
That's good.
You're afraid of the dark. I was born in the
Yeah.
my cock was born in the dark.
My cock was born in the dark.
Cecil George Edwards is his name. Just put it
Okay.
in YouTube and put in the arrest of
course it
Cecil
is.
Edwards.
Okay.
Or put in British guy arrested. Either
Okay,
way,
we'll
it'll
put that
pop
on.
up.
We'll put that on our Twitter so people can see it
Oh
at
my
the Good
God,
Spot.
it's so fucking funny for me.
Hell yeah.
A big, new, sprawling space adventure in the Star Wars saga. The Empire Strikes Back. Coming to your galaxy next summer.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Fellas, we have time for just one more segment. And for this one, this is, of course, our Jam of the Week. And I'm going to ask that eternal question. Ain't That Tough Enough?
Is this New Kids on the Block?
Oh no, we're going down to Texas, boys. This is the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
This is something I know nothing about. It's like Southwestern blues rock or some shit.
Yeah.
Some of that Roadhouse ass music.
Yes, it is.
I was having fun in the South calling a particular band Top.
This is Top.
Top.
Sleepy Top.
Sweepy Top.
Oh wait, that's the topper that you get for your mattress. That's my ZZZ top.
So it's kind of like, what's your dad doing when he's listening to this?
Oh yeah.
Are you drunk enough? Go back in that house and tell her what you mean.
And all these songs sound like if Steve Winwood did the Monday Night Football.
That's right.
Oh my
That's
God.
right.
Well,
You know what I mean?
this is so the brother of Stevie Ray Vaughan is
That's
in this
right.
band, Jimmy Vaughan.
Yeah, I know,
and
I know.
yeah, and
I never put it together. They were brothers.
and the lead singer of this band is named Kim, so that's interesting.
Kim Thayil from South.
Yeah, the guitar player from Soundgarden.
like, I got to
Actually, it's Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth. Yeah. Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth sang in the Fabulous Thunderbirds for this band.
No, I heard this in the restroom of Truck Stop right before I got on the plane to fly back to LA a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I bet there's some people in this comments that think they are tough enough.
Yeah.
So
let me clarify. Was this band big on the radio and shit, or is this?
this
something
is
people
their
talked
song.
about? Okay,
This is
song was it.
this is it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they are still touring. Are they still touring every casino and state fair? Yes. But this was their big song.
It's like sexy carnival music. I could see.
I mean, yeah.
Right up.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. This shit
Yeah.
fits
No,
directly.
this does sound like the sound of puking up a funnel cake behind a fucking tilt-a-whirl.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, you tough.
It's like second divorced rock.
Yeah, that's right. This is divorced dad rock.
Oh, no, yeah, this is Immaculate Trans Am, Dirty House.
Oh yeah.
Rock.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
So let's get down into the YouTube comments for the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Tough Enuff. First up, Chad Dawkins from 1 year ago.
Chad Dawkins. That's beautiful. Chad Dawkins.
Oh, and wait till you hear the comment.
Oh.
This video, by the way, is a bunch, just for clarification, because this comes up a lot. The video is a bunch of really hot ladies doing like manly jobs, like stereotypically manly jobs, like welding and shit.
Okay.
Yeah, so Chad Dawkins. Do any of you old gazers know anything about the babes in this video?
Gazers?
It's what it says.
Any you old stargazers?
It says he might
You
mean
meant say
geezers,
yeah.
but it says gazers. I was once. He's like, do you know anything about the babes in this video? I was once partial to the brown hair babe that had on the red shirt because she reminds me of Jenna Lee, formerly of Fox News. But in recent months, I have been drooling over the other babe that has
drooling into my
In
fucking
recent
boner.
months, let's return to the video. See how he's feeling today.
There are many things in this video that make me horny.
Many months later, I found the redhead.
Found a new thing to have my boner split into two to make two new boners in this fucking sexy video.
So in recent months, I've been drooling over the other babe that has brown reddish hair who had on the blue jeans butt shorts outfit. She reminds me of a
I was in a band called Butt Shorts Outfit. So fucking
We had a minor hit the same year as Tough Enuff.
great 3 words.
She reminds me of a local news babe who I hope has lesbian tendencies every now and then. I think that one babe had on the pink butt shorts. I thought she was a bodyguard for David Lee Roth. So now let us talk about the most depressing existence
This is the most
ever.
depressing conversation in a drunk tank. What say you guys? Which one do you guys want to
Which local newswoman does they remind you of?
Which brown-haired sort of brown-haired with red or brown with brown?
Dawkins just can't decide.
Chad Dawkins.
He just can't pick one.
I just love that all of his crushes involve newscasters.
Crushes is like, it's like, he's like, what is it, Chad? You look like you're a little bashful. What is it? I got a crush.
It's the pink butt shorts lady.
In that video.
I always get bashful when the weather girl comes out.
Oh, gee, she's too purty.
I have a lock of Greta Van Sustren's hair in my fire safe. Uh-oh. Next up, Bradley Dunnigan from 7 months ago. Have you ever listened to a young woman talk about her boyfriend? I reject age. Go with experience. Just because we're high mileage does not mean that we can't blow the doors off Hottieville. Creeps. Everyone on here is a creep.
Blow the door. Just doesn't mean you can't rip down the door that leads to Hottieville, even though it's locked.
I love it. Me and all my buddies, my middle-aged fucking pussy squad.
According to a
middle-aged pussy squad.
Pussy action squad.
That maps. We call ourselves maps.
Hey, y'all.
Pussy squad.
Hey, y'all, get them rusty change out the back of your El Camino. We got some pussy to pick up.
We gotta go blow the doors off Horville. He said it was Hottieville. Like, all right.
Headed to Cunt City.
Come on, man.
I just blew the ceiling off Titty Town. I'm crazy. It's like telling a cop this is you're doing on roadside sobriety test.
I'm telling you, it starts as Titty Town and stuff that is like okay, but then it's like Gash Village. It just all this mean stuff comes out as the beers start rolling.
Yeah, Jesus.
As the back of the truck fills up with beers.
They're all terrible people that comment on this.
According to District Attorney Tyrone McCandless, I've been banned from Hottieville, but I will come there with a bulldozer.
I'll blow the doors off.
Blow the doors off.
My huge cock will blow these doors open with cum. Old vintage cum like we used to like it.
Like we used to like it.
My cum comes out like cannonballs. Civil War. My jism's full of Civil War cannonballs.
It was thicker in the 80s, baby. Tough enough.
Hey, when I jizz, it's like that movie, The Stuff. Remember The Stuff? You fill whole rooms with it. Like Strange Brew, but with my jizz.
Tough enough. And he's like, keep it playing.
I'm not done.
We're going to blow these doors open.
all these declarations of like redneck manhood. It's like a Paul Bunyan Tall Tales. Man, last time I came, they thought it was an avalanche. It was tough enough.
I tell you what, there was a tsunami right here in Texas, and it was my jisms erupting from my skyscraper-like cock.
Feels you tough enough.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was not tough enough. No. He died. He wasn't tough enough. You can't survive a plane crash, you fucking pussy.
It was
tough enough.
All these comments are written, by the way, from a guy shirtless on his laptop. Like, fucking,
Oh, he definitely got the titty table for his laptop.
and the hungry man, empty hungry man next to him.
Yeah.
This next one I like because he does his own punch up on the joke. So, Energy Asylum from 8 months ago.
Yeah.
This song has balls. When I listen to it in my truck, I take a piss in the gas tank and the octane changes from regular to premium gas, LOL. Or ... So
or he heard crickets in his own mind after that.
Yeah. Or
something different.
Let me throw you some alternates.
Or if
Let me throw y'all some alternates real quick.
I can rip in different directions.
I can tell y'all weren't feeling that.
Yeah. Or if you play the song in any car you're driving, the car will gain 100 more horsepower.
Whoa, that was better. He was right.
Or any woman in this vehicle instantly become pregnant.
Instantly become pregnant. Instantly become pregnant.
He took a instantly. He comes up and goes up and smokes a cigarette by the window, and he's like, "That was pretty good." But now I got another. Or
oh my fucking god, this song rolls.
It's kind of fucked up how I took my grandma to church that one time, but tough enough.
Are you tough enough?
Is your grandma tough enough to survive childbirth at 80?
Yeah, it's not tough enough, dude.
John Wolfgang Parks from 8 months ago.
Yeah, of course.
The first time I ever got stoned with my father, he showed me this song. I can't listen to this song and not think about it. In that moment, he and I were the exact same person.
Whoa, that was like you on the staircase. Holy shit.
My daddy and I merged.
We had a psychic resonance.
We
shared a cookie.
We smoked out of a pipe that was shaped like Brian from Family Guy. And in that moment, we became one.
Yeah, I asked him, are we tough enough to kiss?
Daddy, am I tough enough?
Am I tough enough? You are, boy.
Now sit on my lap. Give me a kiss. Tough enough. Can you sustain the mental injuries of child molestation? Tough enough. See you in 20 years, kid. You better be strong.
Well, another creep coming down the hall. Scott Campbell from 1 year ago. I was 11 when this song played on MTV, and a friend got caught touching my tallywhacker while watching.
Damn.
What?
Gives me flashbacks to my tingling tally every time I hear this song. Such good times.
How many likes we got on that one?
Nothing. None. I'm the first and only person to read this.
That sucks, Scott
Jesus
Campbell.
Lord.
Sorry, Scott Campbell.
What are you doing?
Well, it sounds like he loved it.
I mean, I like that he's just telling everybody a secret.
Hey, yeah,
fake
yeah.
name Scott Campbell.
I have a bunch
boy,
of unanalyzed issues.
Yeah, like,
My name is William Shakespeare.
The worst thing is that reminds me of something that happened. This family this like basically white trash kid who was my best friend named Matt when I was a kid. He had a rat tail, the whole thing. We smoked Pall Malls, behind the bowling alley and shit. We were real white. We were in the woods, and fucking back at his crib, his sister used to like kick him in the nuts and push him down and shit because she was an older sister.
Right.
And one day she like stomped on his nuts and she like kept her foot there, and she felt them get hard and she was like, ew.
Oh no!
That is a no-win situation.
No win.
Straight to therapy for you, my friend.
one time, I'll tell
Forever.
my brother and I got in a fight once, and he was much bigger than me and older than me, and I had no vantage point, but his penis was poking out in his shorts, and I just grabbed it. And I ran for like years.
He ran all the way to Los Angeles.
All the way to the FBI.
Yeah, I touched the dick, but I was tough enough. That's about it.
Enough to touch it, dear.
Did you touch enough?
This one hot off the presses. Robert B. from 17 hours ago.
Oh, man.
My name is Louis Robert Burton Jr., and my sister, Bonnie Jean Newell, keeps shutting down our telephone because she's afraid that women will come over and see me. And she's afraid that the women will meet her husband, Dale Allen Newell, and will make out in front of him because he's always wanted to be a woman himself.
Wow.
So, there you go.
Are you tough enough for whatever that bullshit was about?
The phones aren't working. I'll go to YouTube.
He puts a like micro specific diss on a YouTube comment, thinking that's gonna get out to the world.
I think we just helped it get out into the world.
Yeah, we're spreading his message. He named names.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
Got two more here. Brian Zimmerman from 11 months ago. No tattoo.
This is Bob Dylan's brother.
Yeah, it's his rapping grandchild.
Yeah.
No tattoos or fat, spelled P-H-A-T. No tattoos or fat booties in this here video. Awesome indeed.
What is that?
I was like, is this Dr. Jordan Peterson? Is this commenting on
Big
this?
asses.
Man, I'm telling you, and see, and that's why I don't want to be that asshole who's always like trying to racialize everything, but you know what that motherfucker
Yeah, exactly. He's
You know
being racist.
exactly what he's
100%.
saying.
Oh, yeah. No, I know what
That's
he's
true,
saying.
yeah.
And I think he is probably Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Why does everyone like these giant fat asses? What's wrong? And you're the only guy saying this. You're like,
I just want you to clean your room and pull your pants up and be kind of done with it. Read my book. I like to eat beef all day. I'm dying. Jordan Peters is going to clean your room.
This song should be
To be thinly veiled racist, tough enough.
be playing in the background of every episode of this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate those fat booties. Fat booties.
It turns into Beaker.
I mean, yeah, he's already sounds like fucking Kermit. Yeah,
he
he's
does.
gonna regress into Beaker.
An idiot.
And finally, and this guy is a superstar. This is actually his third appearance on the show. He was on the comments for Kenny Rogers the Gambler, and also the comments for Hooting the Blowfish's Let Her Cry. So
glad you're keeping track.
This is a superstar here. Bay Osborne, 5 days ago.
Okay.
This
so recent. Why?
This is me, 100%.
Whoa.
I'm training bitches. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Goodbye, jail scum. You'll lose soon, but I'll just keep training me. I'll find a girl, or as I believe, we will find each other. No games. I don't put up with that shit. I'm good. I will shame you. I'll make millions. And then, when I find my soul, I don't rush one or the other. I'm going to be a billionaire. Just watch my tactics.
Watch my fancy footwork.
And then he literally wrote buffering as if his brain is computing the next piece of information.
Oh, God.
So watch my tactics. Buffering. If not, cool. I don't want what's not mine, kids. After my complaints are successful, I'll start my painting company
My
again.
complaints are successful. Once my complaints are successful, then we'll get this ball rolling.
I'm represented by a guy named Glue Tony.
This guy's got some good complaints.
Very
It's valid.
Very successful.
I'm still going to win. I'm
Your
gonna-
Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you should hear this guy fucking complain. He's got some grievances.
It barely makes sense.
Hey, into the court. Exhibit A, Facebook posts, YouTube videos.
I present to Your Honor YouTube comment A.
And his hand's like stuck to a laptop, so he's like waving it around.
God damn.
Blue Tony.
We have to make Glue Tony commercials with Tuff Enuff in the fucking background.
Are you tough enough?
I'll pay for the rights to Tuff Enuff. I'll find the money.
He says, I'm still going to win. I'm going to kick ass. Me versus the world. The world needs more clarity about Google. They're shit. Want to fight? And then
This guy's going to kill you, Rivers. When you hear this podcast on YouTube, talk to Rivers directly. We're all friends here, but we live in different homes.
so he said that. He's like, you want to fight? He's like, you want to fight? And then several comments later, he just comments again. The more I think about it, the more powerful position I realize I'm in. Women are men's weakness, but I got no woman. Boom, I'm a man. Women are attracted to man. That won't change like me. I'm fine.
That's one of those, I like to call that with like a falling off the cliff thing, where it's like the further away he gets, like, oh, man,
And one more thing.
Yes. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, usually after like a 700-word rant, you go, I'm fine.
I'm good. I'm normal. And that is the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Tuff Enuff.
That's my new fucking theme song.
Our jam of the week.
Destroyed my life.
I'm gonna go listen to this unironically.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
you know.
fucking gonna lift some weights.
it's-
and booty shorts.
It's been Tuff Enuff.
It's like, wait a minute. Women have rights now? It was already tough enough. It was already tough enough.
the real true meaning behind Tuff Enuff.
Oh God.
Rules.
Man, Seth Pomeroy, where can people
Yes.
find you online?
At Seth Pomeroy on Twitter and Instagram and fucking Letterboxd, because I'm always pushing that.
Read about it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Read all about it.
Ed Greer, where can people find you?
At Ed Greer Destroys on Twitter and Instagram. And you can check out my YouTube show, Reboot It, where we reboot movies. And you can check out The Greatest Pod, where we discuss and debate what makes something great. I'd love to have all you guys on there. We had Rivers on to talk about pro wrestling.
Carter talked
And,
Blade Runner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Carter
yeah.
talked Blade Runner on the
right.
old version, but we revamped it. So now we got
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Hell yeah,
Okay.
man. I want to do
but
it.
Yeah, so The Greatest Pod, it's just we recently had director Sam Liu of all kind of DC animated movies.
Oh, awesome.
So we're climbing up the charts, baby.
Oh,
So
that
check
rocks,
that out.
man. Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah,
Check out
man.
The Greatest Pod. Carter, where can people find you online?
Carter _ Glasscock on Twitter and Instagram.
Alrighty. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at at Rivers Langley. And the best way to support the show, head to patreon.com. Just dropped that new episode about Best of the Best 2, starring all the big stars of Hollywood. We're talking Roberts. We're talking Penn. Of course, not Julia or Sean. That's Eric Roberts and Chris Penn in a martial arts film. It's fucking crazy. And I talked about it with my buddy down in Huntsville, Captain Fat Strong. So check that out. Patreon.com/thegoodspod. The second best way to support the show, head to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Show the attitude of gratitude, because if you do not have the attitude of gratitude, Daddy, Glue Tony will sue your ass.
Consider it a promise.
The Goods from the Woods was recorded and edited by me, Rivers Langley. You can find our show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by Jonas the Space Cowboy.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.